What's going on, family? What's going on? What's going down? What's shaking? Welcome to another episode of Super Black Comic Book Reviews by Jonathan Soul. Now, I got a groovy comic book that I want y'all to check out. This is actually what we would call a trade. This is a collected, series of singles into one massive volume. And this is coming from Al Comics. And you can get this beautiful comic, The Maroon, on marooncomics.com, I believe. Website right here. And, of course, you can also get it on Indie Planet. And this is coming from our beloved brother, Derek Lipscomb. Now, I have a rule about, purchasing the comics myself because I want to put money in black people's pockets. This is one of the reasons why I prefer to focus on comics that the publishing and all that kind of stuff is owned by the artist. The fancy term, entrepreneur, artistpreneur, whatever you want to call it. I want to put money in black people's pockets. And so to me, buying, properties that, aren't owned by a black person is just counterproductive to me. So anyway, so this is one of the reasons why. Now, if I go into my bookshelf of destiny, I will be able to pull out Maroon. I'll be able to pull out some of the comics, which I probably should have did before I turned the microphone on. Let me see here, Maroon. All right, so I got a number of the books, okay? Now, the way I remember it, I think there is no 7. I think that was just, there's no 7. So I think this is 7. And then there's like another volume. So, I believe in this shit. I'm just not talking. Hold on a second. I got them all. Hold on a second. Nah, it's an 8. Nah, I bought 8 twice. Well, I don't know. You know why? Because I love the cover. I thought the cover was badass. I thought the cover was dope. Let's see here. Yeah. So you can tell that I believe in this. Know why? Now, generally, when I review comics, I'm developing. You know how Bradbury, right? Had a set of principles. The Star Trek nerdy Star Trek people know that Bradbury had a set of principles, right? And so I'm developing those principles the longer I go into this part. Also, I want to say, this one he actually sent to me, free of charge, and he put the dedication. I thought it was so beautiful because that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to promote black business in the comic book space, black indie creators. That's my mission, and so it's beautiful when folk acknowledge that. Now, I try to get better and better at this. And so what I do is I'm developing what I would call the Jonathan Soul principles when it comes to what I review. Because there are books that'll never be on camera because they don't fit my principles. Okay? Now, this one, the reason why it fits my principles is because of this. He kills the enemy. I got books that they placate the enemy. They try to get the enemy to understand, everything but bend knees. I'm not doing that because you got to be free in your mind. So the first Jonathan Soul principle is Malcolm wins. And black people instantly know what that means. If I say Malcolm wins, you know what the fuck I'm talking about. Okay, Malcolm wins. The other principle is, that's the principle I got so far. And I had another principle, and it's slipping my mind right now. Ain't that a bitch? Don't you? Anyway, let me get this comic book review. So I reviewed the Maroon a couple times. This might be the 3rd time, but it bears repeating. You guys can get this trade, and what you'll do is instead of getting all of this, well, you can, and I just like to have them. I just rather I actually should have at least 2 of every issue. I should have at least 2 of every issue. I'm slipping. I should have at least 2 of every issue. And 3 of these. But you can get all of this in the trade. So I believe this is 1 through 7 Or no, actually, hold on, that's not true. That's not true. Hold on. This might be 1 through 13 or 1 through 12. Okay, so, okay, yeah, so 1 through 7. Okay, I got you. So this is 1 through 7. Okay, 1 through 7. So what's this about? For those who are new to the program, if you've never seen any of my stuff before, there's a brother who's a Seminole Indian. And for those who don't know who a Seminole Indian is, let me go to my Instagram, because I actually direct message my brother one day when I saw it on Tariq Nasheed's. You guys know, if you're black, you know Tariq Nasheed. And so Tariq Nasheed was talking about the Maroon, the Seminoles one day, and so I showed him this. I wish I could superimpose it, but these are the Seminoles. This is what they look like. It says down here, Seminole Negro men and youngsters are shown in 1890 in their village along Lost Morass Creek near Fort Clark. There are about 300 Seminole Negro families still living in Bracketville. So that's what these brothers look like. So with Seminoles, I believe like maybe the father was African American and maybe the mom was Seminole Indian. But yeah, so that's the Seminoles. So when you think about Seminoles, this is what you should be thinking about. Now, this brother, we just call him the Maroon the first couple of issues, and later he's given the name, I believe, of Elijah. I believe Elijah, right? Yeah, I think that's Elijah. So long story short, he woke up and he was accused of killing the whole village, so he's on the run. And these slave catchers are attacking him. You can see here is summer in Tennessee in 1850. You can see the woods, the birds flying. He's running, kind of a thing. He got his I guess tomahawk. I guess that's what it is. And you know, when we first talked about this, about him running into this Native American family, and the Native American family looks out for him, tells him just go back by the woods. If anybody comes, you know, we'll send them the other way or whatever. And so that's what happens. Sure enough, the white folks come, telling this Indian, and it's funny, they're speaking in Chickasaw. So you can tell that Derek did some significant research with this. And so, speaking to him in Chickasaw and everything, and talks about the reward for this brother, and they tracking him and everything and all the kind of stuff. So yeah, so it goes on from there. And the wonderful thing about this is just not like a runaway film. Because if it was just runaway, I wouldn't fuck with it. I'm gonna be honest with you. I have Malcolm Wins has a lot of implications in terms of a principle. Everybody struggles. Everybody has bad days. There are certain losses that you win some battle, you lose some battles, but you win the war, kind of an ideal. And so it's not like the hero's never gonna, have a bad day or whatever. But you don't humiliate you just don't humiliate the hero, kind of a thing. Do y'all remember what was it, Pursuit of Happiness? Even though that shit was based on a true story, that was fucking depressing to come out of that. And so you don't want that. So here the hero is protecting a little kid from this mystical creature. You see that? I mean, the last time you seen a giant bear with tusks. You know what I mean? And so he protects the little kid. And so you'll see that he's pretty good with that hatchet, kind of a thing. And the kid escapes and yada yada. So it goes on from there. You know what I mean? They he protects the family or whatever. And then we skip forward. And these guys are relentless in their pursuit of him. But they definitely pay the price. And again, it's not like he doesn't get hurt or anything. He definitely takes his share of licks or whatever. But he gives as well as he can take. And so this is why I review this book, because it lives up to what I consider the first principle of Jonathan Sowell, which is Malcolm Wins. It had another principle, which I literally was just discussing with my son. And by the way, happy Father's Day. I'm recording this on the 21st of June. And so happy Father's Day to the fathers out there. And because my son is a writer too. And he's a filmmaker. And we bounce ideas off each other and things of that nature. And so And so the principle Malcolm wins, and that's very important because as men, especially in America, you gotta, or I can't speak for being an African person, any other European type scenario, but you gotta protect your mind, and you got to be free in your mind. That's why I don't fuck with a lot of comics and literature, even though some people may be considered great and praiseworthy. To me, if you praiseworthy in the white media, you're probably bad for the African psyche. Because they're not going to praise, Nat Turner. They're not going to do it. They're going to show them destroying them at the end, but they're not, what I mean? It's just not going to happen. And so I like books that kind of elevate this principle. So I would suggest you go and get this book. I would consider this an action, historical fiction, fantasy, comic series. So if you know a little bit about history and you enjoy history, you'll love it because he puts little pieces in here. Like there was this one time, let me show you real quick. And okay, this one. So he sees his brother who's dying. He's been injured and he's dying in this barn. And the brother was talking about basically he was trying to meet up with Moses. And Moses is like the train conductor. And we know because it's the 1850s. What's that, 10 years? Is that 10 years before the Civil War? We know that, we're talking about the Underground Railroad. So he talks about Moses, the conductor. So we know that's referring to Harriet Tubman. And then he's talking about this quilt and how this quilt is telling you, giving you instructions. Now, we know from African American history that we use quilts as a way to message, as a way to use symbolism to convey things that was about to happen, things that we were planning, escapes and so forth like that. And so it's beautiful that he puts these little touches in the book. And I talked about that in my reviews before. So if you like action, violence, there's a little sexual innuendo here because he does get the girl sometimes. You'll enjoy this book, okay? So go here to pick it up. And definitely, if you want to support the website and the podcast, you go here. And I got a book out called Malcolm Mars. It's a sci-fi novel that I wrote. And you can support the podcast by going here. All right? Amazon are picking it up. Love you guys. Hope all your dreams come true. Jonathan Soul, jonathansoul.com, Jonathan Soul on Instagram and Twitter and on, come on, brain, Black Junction, blackjunction.com and Black Junction TV. Love you guys. Hope all your dreams come true. Peace.